All right, let's dive in. This week, we're looking at a really powerful forecast from Tarot by High, and it says we are in for a major shift. But here's the thing, it's not about chaos. It's about growth. It's kind of like the universe is leaning in close and saying, hey, you're going to want to pay attention to this. Expansion is happening, period. The only real choice we have is, how do we meet it? So let's explore what that means. So this brings us to the big question for the week, the one we're really going to unpack. Is all this intensity just chaos? Or is it actually the start of something really important? You can feel the energy for sure. But what's really going on under the hood? Well, the source material gives us a pretty clear answer on that one. And there it is. It's a psychological growth spurt. I want you to just sit with that for a second. Think about it. Growth spurts can be awkward, right? Even a little painful, but they are absolutely necessary for development. And that simple idea, that's the framework for understanding everything that's headed our way this week. Okay, so this growth spurt, it's putting a fundamental choice right in front of us. As this expansion happens, and it is happening, do we expand our wisdom along with it? Actually learn and integrate what's coming up? Or do we just expand our reactions? Just get louder, more defensive, maybe a little more dramatic? That choice right there is the theme of this entire week. So here's our roadmap. On Monday, we start by looking back. Then Tuesday, things get a lot sharper as we focus on what we truly desire. Midweek is all about a massive expansion, followed by taking real action. The weekend brings a much-needed moment of clarity before, you guessed it, a crucial emotional confrontation on Sunday. Let's start with Monday. So Monday, it sets the whole tone for the week, with this gentle but kind of insistent pull toward the past. And look, this isn't about getting stuck there. It's about careful, intentional reflection on what's already happened, so we can move forward with a whole lot more clarity. The astrological engine behind Monday is a big one. Mercury retrograde trine Jupiter. Now, in plain English, Mercury, the communication planet, is doing its little backward dance, which always brings up the past. But here's the key. It's in a really supportive hug, or a trine, with expansive Jupiter. This means that when those old memories or conversations pop up, they're not there to haunt you. They're there to teach you. It's a golden opportunity to find solutions to nagging problems and really re-examine what you believe. And with the asteroid Pallas Athena in the mix, grabbing a journal might be a very good idea. And this is just perfectly captured in the story of a lion who stumbles upon an old, unsent letter. You know that feeling, right? Whoa, I thought I was done with this. That is exactly what Monday's energy feels like. An old chapter is reopening, not for a rewrite, but maybe for a final, more complete understanding. All right, so after Monday's little trip down memory lane, Tuesday brings a whole different vibe. The energy gets sharper, more focused, and it's asking a very, very direct question. What do you really want? Not what you think you're supposed to want. What is your soul actually crying out for? What's fueling this? It's a transit called Venus sextile Pluto. This alignment makes our desires incredibly potent, and it forces us to be honest about our passions. Yeah, even the messy or inconvenient ones. The source is super clear on this. If your choices are just for show, just performative, they're probably going to fall apart under this energy. This is about what's real. And wow, Elian's colleague just nails the heart of Tuesday's energy with this question. Do you ever feel like you're living a smaller version of your own life? That's the confrontation right there. Are you living your truth, or are you just playing a part that you think you're supposed to? And now we get to the main event of the week. After 4 long months, Jupiter, the planet of all things big, expansion, faith, good fortune, it's finally moving forward again. The source material tells us that for months, Jupiter has been teaching us to keep the faith, even when we couldn't see any progress. Well, guess what? Now, everything that's been quietly brewing behind the scenes is ready to burst into bloom. So this big forward push brings us right back to that critical choice. We can take the path of wisdom, using this energy to restore our faith, attract opportunities that feel right, and let our internal growth just flourish. Or we can take the path of reaction. We can let this energy just make us louder, amplify our blind spots, and exaggerate all our old, tired stories. This is the time to consciously choose a more inspiring story for your life. Elian's journey from Wednesday through Friday is a perfect example of what that path of wisdom looks like in real life.
He uses this big, expansive energy first for reflection. Then he seeks real resolution by making that difficult phone call. And finally, he takes aligned action on a project that he's actually passionate about. This is Jupiter direct at its absolute best, turning internal insight into real, meaningful external progress. So as we head into the weekend, the energy shifts again. Saturday offers this really necessary moment of quiet detachment, a chance to process everything that's happened. And this calm is so important because it's basically the calm before the storm. It's setting the stage for Sunday's emotional reckoning, one that's been a long, long time coming.
Yeah, this whoa, whoa, whoa moment, it perfectly captures the vibe for Sunday. The source actually uses this exact phrase to describe what it feels like when Mercury retrograde meets up with Mars. It's an intense, direct alignment that absolutely demands our full attention. This transit is all about bringing stuff to the surface. Old arguments, frustrations you've been swallowing, they're all coming out. This energy literally pushes our emotions into words, whether we planned on it or not. And the point isn't to create chaos, it's to finally resolve what's been left hanging. Is there a risk of saying the wrong thing? Absolutely. But the bigger risk might just be in staying silent.
Mira's words to Elaine are the perfect example of this. See, the issue isn't the argument on the surface anymore. It's the raw, unspoken truth underneath it all, that feeling of being abandoned. This is the kind of radical honesty that Sunday is pushing all us toward.
And that honesty leads us to Mira's final pivotal question. After all this, the reflection, the clarity, the expansion, the confrontation, what happens next? The source uses this question to turn the spotlight right back on us. What are you going to do with this new hard-won clarity?
And here we have Alien's beautiful, practical answer. It's not about having some perfect 5-year plan. It's simply about making choices today that the person you are becoming would actually respect. It's about choosing the path your future self would admire. And honestly, that might be the most important takeaway from this entire psychological growth spurt. So what choices are you going to make this week?